welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I do book things here. We have a visitor today. This is Elvira de la Meow Meow, or Evie for short. She is my bubs and she will not leave me alone today. So you guys are getting some primo cat action today. Okay, are you ready to get off of me? Girl, go, what you doing, girl? Thank you. I posted one up in November where I hauled like 34 books or something for like $12. Today I think I have 17 or 18 that I got for $6. This haul I pretty much got things I recognized except for one book, so I'm excited to show you guys what I got. Alright, first thing that's sitting right here, this is another Chuck Palahniuk book. I have a lot of his books and I just keep like collecting them when I see them. So this one is Pygmy, which I believe is very much more military based, which I don't read a lot of stuff. I don't typically like books about military and about war, but I believe this has a little bit of that. I think it's mostly about a guy who comes over to America and truly like hates Americans, but I really like the bright yellow cover. There's a thing about me, if you know me, I like yellow books, so I instantly saw this and was like, it's a yellow book, it's Chuck Palahniuk, I'm getting it. Next is a book that I didn't know anything about, but I got because it made me kind of laugh. This is I Think I Love You, and I went, oh, this is kind of funny because my mom likes that song, like, I think I love you, but what am I so afraid of, da, 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 by David Cassidy. So I picked this up and I looked at it, and it turns out it's about two teenage girls who are obsessed with David Cassidy and like they go and meet him in like their adult life. So I don't know if I'm actually going to end up reading this or I'm just going to like just give it to my mom and accept that it's lost forever in her house. I found a bunch of you are probably going to be happy by the next like 7 books that I got because they're popular on BookTube. They're things that are typically out of my like preferred genres, but as you guys know, I pretty much will try anything once and, you know, skim the last 200 pages if I don't like it. We'll try anything once. So, the book that I grabbed is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and I've heard either people hate this or people love it and it's like their favorite thing ever. I don't entirely know what this is about, I'm not going to lie. I know it's about a group of like young kids, and I don't know literally anything else. Alright, so you can probably see a little bit of what this is up here. I managed to find all of these, which, yeah, I decided to get all of them. I realized very quickly though that this is not all of Cassandra Clare's stuff. Obviously she has like I think 12 books or some shit, I don't even know. And then I found 6 here and then I immediately got home, texted Chelsea and was like, I don't know what books I got, I don't know what series or which. Please help. Send help. I'm trying to figure out from here what these are. I know nothing about this series, guys, so I don't know anything, but all of you guys probably do. So this is the Mortal Instrument series. This is just like a soft cover. This is the only soft cover, the rest are hard covers, which I like. Book 1, City of Bones. Something about shadow hunters. I don't know. Then we have City of Ashes, which is book 2. City of Glass, which is book 3, and then City of Fallen Angels, which is book 4. So those are the 4 that I have from the Mortal Instrument series. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's like 5 and 6. I don't know. But I do know you're supposed to read that one and then read the Infernal Devices. So I got book 1, and then it skips to book 3. Also, I realized when I was looking through these books that this one has like a letter in it. And it took me having to read this letter to find out that this isn't just a letter that someone put in this book, that it's actually for the book itself. So you guys can laugh at me for that, because I was kind of like, cool, I found a letter. No, it's part of the book. And then this one is apparently a collector's first edition. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone. Got a couple people that I like and trust here. Some of them don't like it. Some of them said push through and get to like her later work. So we'll see. Like, I have them. I can always grab them at any point now if I want something to read. They're there. I just feel like I might as well give them a try. I got like 6 books for like $2, so why not? And then the last like 8 books, all Stephen King stuff, because I have been going on a huge Stephen King like binge lately, where all I want to do is read Stephen King and like all of his stuff and just read it all. And eventually I just want to read all of his work before either he dies or I do. So yeah, so I've just been slowly picking up stuff that I see here and there and just sort of expanding my collection. You guys did see like my book outlet haul where I got all the nice covers and the spines all match. That's what I'm hoping to get, is to have all the spines match. And then I did recently discover a 2006 or 2007 release UK paperback versions of Stephen King's. I found that there's like 46 books that were released with the matching spines, and it is now like my life's mission to own all of them. They're beautiful, but they're obviously like were released and they don't make them anymore, so I have to like go through like an eBay, Amazon, like books like hunt in order to get them all, and they all ship from the UK, which is funny because I found like 16 books. They're all like $1 or like $3 each, which I was like, perfect. And then I looked at the shipping, and the shipping's $110 from the UK to Canada, which is more than I want to spend on used books. Alright, so the first one is one of his shorter works, which is surprising. This is The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. So this is about a girl who gets lost in the woods, and she's trying to get herself out of the woods, and she does it by listening to Red Sox baseball games on their little radio that she has, and she basically gets attached to Tom Gordon, and he trying to like, her mind is trying to basically listen to him to guide her out of the forest. So this is a short one, which Stephen King doesn't have many, so I'm going to attempt to read this sooner than later, because I just finished the Tommyknockers, which was like 1,000 pages, and I'm kind of burnt out and don't exactly want to hop into another like 800-page book of his, so this might be a good one to start with. Then I found what they're calling a book club edition. Like there's no ISBN, there's no like anything on it. This is basically the Bachman books, which is 4 early novels by Stephen King. Also an introduction as to like why he was Bachman, because Stephen King wrote under the name Richard Bachman for a while. Confusing, I know. It has Rage, The Long Walk, Roadwork, and The Running Man. I have a copy of The Long Walk, which I've talked about in my book outlet haul, but this basically has 4 books all compiled into one. I especially like this because I don't know what these ominous marks are on the side of this book. Don't know what that is. Is it mold? Couldn't tell you. Then I found a copy of The Dark Half, which I realized I already had, so oops, but whatever. Like I said, this was like 30 cents, so who cares. The main reason I got it is because of this on the back. So like, Stephen King has been releasing books for like, what, 50 years now? So typically you can tell what year his books were released by the photo on the back. If he's looking real weird, typically it is late 70s. If it's a full size head like this one is, it's typically mid to late 80s, and then I'll show you guys some other ones as I go on to kind of show you, but yeah. So next I found Dolores Claiborne. So this I've heard is like one of his worst novels according to a lot of people, so we'll see. But then a couple people said no, this is like my favorite one, so again I'm just gonna read it because I read everything, so why not just try it out. This is about a woman who I think has like an angel of death sort of situation where she puts people out of their misery according to her. That's the kind of vibe I got from the inside cover, but again, it's Stephen King, so who knows which way it's gonna go. Much like The Dark Half, he has a full back cover, so here's how you can tell your years. Typically, if it's a full face, like I said, mid to late 80s. If it's a full back cover, but he's zoomed out a bit, it's early 90s to like mid 90s. So there's that. Then I also grabbed a copy of Rose Matter. This one has a really funny of the same picture on that one. So of this copy, it's like all raised, and it's funny because it looks like in the light like it's all crinkled, but that's just how it was printed because it's meant to be like the texture of this crinkled paper. I think it's really cool actually. This one I believe is about a woman who is in like an abusive relationship with her husband, and I think she tries to peace out and then gets this artwork. And who knows what this artwork has to do with it, but I love books about art. I just finished The Goldfinch, which is about art, so we'll see if there's any sort of similarities between the two. Who knows? Next book I grabbed is a big ass one. This is, how many pages? Oh god, who knows? No, not too many, 600 and something, it just feels really big. This one is Dreamcatcher, and this one, again, I think people either love it or hate it. So this takes place in Derry, the same town that It and I think Insomnia take place in, which is like a common theme in like most of Stephen King's work. But again, this follows the story of like 4 boys who something happens in their childhood, very much like It. They come back 25 years later, very much like It, and they're dealing with like hunting season, and then something happens in the woods and stuff. So given the name Dreamcatcher and sort of what the inner flap is sort of like telling me, I think this might have like Native American culture influence. I'm just praying that this isn't super like problematic. You never know with Stephen King, sometimes they are. I don't know. If anyone has read this and can let me know possibly if there's like Native American culture like underlying themes. If there is, can you guys let me know without like too much spoilers? I don't really care about spoilers, but try not to like tell me exactly what happened. And then if that's done well, because that's the kind of vibe that I got, and I just, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna read it anyway, but I'm just curious if that's something that I am taking away from the inner flap. Next one I got is Revival, which is like a really nice copy of it actually. So this is a fairly new one. It's like in perfect condition. That deals with sort of like the juxtaposition between like religion and those who don't really have any in their life. I think it has to do with a preacher or a minister and then sort of a drug addict, and maybe what the hell revival means exactly. I typically don't read a lot of books about religion just because of my own background, which if you guys ever want me to talk about, I can talk about. I don't typically read a lot of books like that just because I'm like, eh. But it's always interesting to see how Stephen King writes religion, because he can do it fairly well. So we'll see how I feel about that one. Last book from the Stephen King bunch is the one that I am most excited to find because it is quite literally the most beautiful book I've ever seen in my life. This is Stephen King's Lissy's Story, which is a story about a woman who goes to her husband's sort of like fantasy world, I think, that he goes to. There's got to be more to it than that, I'm sure, but that's kind of the vibe that I got. But the reason why I love this is actually this edition. If you take the cover off, this is what it looks like underneath. And this is stunning. Like, I don't even want that red cover on it. I just want it like this. But it doesn't say like Stephen King on it. It doesn't say what book it is or anything, which is really kind of neat. But it's cool because they talk about this other world that she goes to. In the front flap of it, it says, take off the flap and you'll get to see what this world looks like. So this cover is what that fantasy world is. Which, I don't know, that just makes it so much more cool to me, and so I found it and was like, yes please. Probably my favorite find, and again, a book that I want to read pretty much right away. And then obviously the picture on the inside is more mid-2000s Stephen King. But yeah, so that is all of the books that I grabbed. Let me know down in the comments below what Stephen King out of those stacks have you read and do you recommend? And then obviously your opinions on the other books that I got, the Cassandra Clare ones, the Raven Boys, etc. Opinions on those. So I do hope you guys are doing good, and until my next video, I'll talk to all of you soon. Bye!